Hey everyone, so this is the season finale for Marco Polo, which is episode 10, called The Heavenly and the Primal. And uh, I kind of wanted to make this video straight away last night when I watched the video, or watched the episode, um, mainly because of the last scene of the episode, but I decided to wait and do it now. With that said, I'm gonna go straight into the episode where before the theme song can even play, it shows Marco and Marco sitting in front of the catapults, watching how they are how great they are. Excuse me. And so it kind of shows that the they don't really show it, but they it seems based off of what the engineer comes up and tells Marco is that the catapults really aren't working all that well. And he's like, well, go fix them, fix out the kinks, work out the kinks. And so that scene ends before the theme song comes on, and then after the opening credits finish, Kaido is in the royal court with everyone else, and he's asking Kublai what they should do, since Sadao is kind of like, making moves to come over to Kambalak. And Kaido's like, well, I want to lead the next assault on Sadao when, since the last few times that the assault on Sadao happened, he lost a lot of men, and including two sons. And so they kind of mince words a little bit, and Kaido says that he won't stay since because he gets insulted, and which I don't really blame him, because what Kublai said was kind of like, well, what? Come on, why are you talking to this guy like this when you clearly need his men? But yeah, Kaido says he won't stay since he believes his city is the true capital of Mongolia, and then Kublai says that he doesn't need Kaido's horses, and that he's forever banished from Kambalak. Kolin then speaks to Bayamba off to the side after everyone kind of like, starts to leave, and she's like, come back with me right now with my father. And Bayamba's like, I can't, because I need to help avenge my father. I need to help do this. And only when I help avenge my father will I then ride back to you with a horde of horses. And she's like, well, forget the horde of horses. You don't need to do that. Just ride back alone to me. And he's like, okay, I will, and everything. And she leaves and she turned away and leaves. Then it goes to South China, where the boy emperor is surrounded by a governor of another city, and the governor pledges 5,000 men to the emperor. But the boy emperor says, when he is asked if that's enough, he says no, and the governor then pledges 10,000 men. Chavi and a group of people, including Zudao, are there in the room with Kokachin, in Kokachin's room, and basically what's happening here is Kokachin is laying on the bed, and her legs are kind of like, up, and she has this blanket over her legs, or her bottom half of her. And basically what they're doing is Judao is trying to perform this test on her to make sure to prove if she's a virgin or not. And basically what the test is they take this small white bird egg. I don't remember if they specifically named what type of egg it is, but they take this small white bird egg and shove it up her hoo-ha, and if her hymen is still intact, some of the blood from the hymen will get onto the egg, and it will be seen once they pull the egg out of her hoo-ha. I'm trying to keep it PC here, or PG, and so basically they do this. Judao puts it up her hoo-ha, pulls it out, sees there's no blood on it, and pretty much shows that she's not a virgin anymore. Which is, I mean, you don't really need to see this scene beforehand to know that she's not a virgin, unless of course you missed a scene a few episodes back where Marco and Kokachin had the fake Kokachin had sex before the battle. It was because it was in the 8th episode, I think, where Marco was about to leave, or about to run away and everything, and Kokachin was in his tent. And she told him about about her not being the real Kokachin and everything, and so they wind up having sex then. And I mean, even if she was a virgin by that point, she clearly wasn't after they had sex. So you saw that they had sex that in that episode basically. And if you missed that scene, then this clearly shows that she's not a virgin anymore. And so Chabi then takes the egg from Judao, shoves it up Kokachin's hoo-ha, and pretty much forces blood to get onto her, even though it's clear that she's not a virgin anymore. In the first like 30 seconds of this scene, I really did not realize what was going on. I did not realize at all what the hell was going on. I was wondering what they were doing and why they were doing it. I was so confused. I was like, what's going on? And I was like, what is going on? Why are they doing this? I was just it was just so confusing. Then I was like, oh, that is, I realized it's like right before, like 2 seconds before they said that they were checking to see if she was a virgin. I realized it like 2 seconds before Judao said that, and I was like, oh, I felt so stupid. I was like, I felt really dense at that point. I was like, And then the next scene after this, you see Malin being visited by Ahmed, and they talk about various things and everything. Didn't really write down what they said because it didn't really seem that important. But yeah, if it had any significance to you guys, please tell me. Write it down in the comments below. But anyway, Sadao is in talking to a few people, and he says the fat Mongol is trying to become Chinese, which really wasn't that mysterious before, because Jingham kind of brings this up several episodes back when he came back from Kaidu's kind of little party, and he was asked to wrestle for his daughter, and he had gone back to kind of like complain to his father that everyone makes fun of him because he thinks and acts Chinese, and he kind of speaks in a way that's Chinese, in a Chinese mannerism. So that wasn't really any new news when Sadao says it. So I was just like, okay, whatever. And then Marco and Kublai talk at the catapults in the next scene, and Kublai is like, well, we're going to use them whether they're ready or not. And Marco has this added pressure now because to make sure that they work. I mean, they work, but I mean, they don't work well enough to get to use them at a great distance, so that none of the men will have to go charging at the wall first before they use the catapults or anything. So, and then the next scene is Marco goes back to his room where there's a blue scarf tied around the door handles of the door, and basically it says that Kokoshin needs to speak with him. So he goes to the stables. She comes out of the shadows and she kisses him, and I'm just like, and he pretty much kisses back, and I'm just like, boy, didn't your life just get spared? Why are you trying to end your life so shortly right now? Why the fuck are you trying to do this? I don't get it. I don't fucking get it at all. I mean, he's... Anyway, so after they finish kissing, she tells him that they need to, run away soon. Together they need to run away soon. Since that she's supposed to marry to Jingham quickly, or Jingham's in a short amount of time. And he's like, he can't really believe it at first, and then he's like, okay, fine, let's run away. I'm just like, dude, you're making it so hard for me to defend you right now when I mean, because I like you and everything, and for the most part, I like your character, but right now you're making it hard for me to defend you and everything that you're accused of, and just like, you're making it so hard. Get it together, dude. Get it together. I'm just like, get it together. Then Marco goes over to where 100 Eyes is, where he's sitting at, and sits down next to him, and 100 Eyes offers him something that offers a sip of what 100 Eyes is drinking, and Marco's like, I don't want it. I just want some kind words. But then Jingham comes in like a few minutes later, after 100 Eyes talks to him, and Jingham challenges Marco to a fight, and Jingham's like, well, if you win, you get to fight in battle, or ride in battle. If I win, though, you have to ride back to Venice at first light. They fight, neither wins, and Jingham says to Marco to invite him on the field. Jingham is the everlasting punk, sort of guy. He's the everlasting punk. That's all I have to say about that. Then Marco is seen going over to Kokochin's quarters, and Judao steps in front of him and doesn't let him go through. And Marco is like, well, okay, fine, here's a little present for her I want to give to her. And then he leaves. Then there's a priest a moment later where he's speaking to Kublai and Chabi, and they speak for like a minute or two, and then the priest leaves. After the priest leaves, Kublai is like, the dude's a fucking crock. I don't like him. I think he's full of shit. And he's basically bad-mouthing the priest, and I'm just like, well, what the fuck? What Chabi says next is like pretty much what I think is really accurate. It's like, well, if you weren't gonna heed his advice, why the fuck did you ask for it? What was the point? What was really the point of that? And then Kublai's like, oh, well, he's Chinese. Like, well, if you knew he was Chinese and you had this hatred for Chinese, why the fuck did you ask for his advice then? What was the point? What was the fucking point of doing all that then? If you were just gonna, like, no, get your life together. Like, get it together. Like, no. Anyway, Chabi then says, well, please just make peace. if not for you men who are very weak at this point in time because of fighting so much and not getting a break in between fighting, then at least do it to save face, which is spot on advice. Like, come on, Chavi's making good advice lately in the last few episodes, I think, because I think that the last 2 or 3 episodes, from episode 7 till now, she's been giving really good advice to him, and I really think that he should take her advice. I really do, because it's been really spot on, and clearly she's making sense here. Clearly she is, regardless of the fact that Kublai is frustrated with what's been happening the last few weeks, especially with Marco. Then it goes to Kokachin, who opens her gift for Marco and sees that it's a necklace. She then rips it apart and destroys the necklace, and I'm just like, girl, get your life. Like, come on. Like, to me she seems like she's been acting like an immature teenager who, or a toddler who's throwing a tantrum, and I'm just like, come on, like, really? Like, I've noticed lately that I've more so grown to like Chavi in the last few episodes, while I hadn't really liked her in the beginning of the season, because her growth, my growth of liking her, of liking Chavi, has grown, while my dislike for Kokachin, the fake Kokachin, decreases. And I've noticed that, and just like, because this girl's like really trying my nerves at this point. She's really trying my nerves. She needs to get it together. Stop acting like an immature child or immature brat or whatever, and stop acting like a toddler throwing a tantrum. She needs to, because I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick of it at this point. Then you see Kublai's army, and the next scene, riding off to battle. That later that night, Bayama, Marco talk at the catapults, and Kaido not riding with them. And Marco eventually thanks Bayamba for defending him in front of his father and his brother, even though he didn't need to. And then Jingham is then seen sitting with a few of his men who are singing and playing instruments. And it seems like this was important, but I'm not quite sure what the significance of this is. It seems like maybe Jingham is trying to find peace within himself or something. I don't know. That's what it seems like to me. But if anybody else has any thoughts of why Jingham did this, please talk about it in the comments below. Now, in the next scene, you see Sadao being told with the catapults, and he says to whoever's there with him to start the war and everything. And so that's when Kublai starts using the catapults, and it's clear they don't reach a destination just yet. And Marco tells the engineer to put more counterweight on the catapults, even though it's advised not to, because it's feared that if they do that the catapults will then break and not work. And so, but they do put more counterweight on the catapults, and it does work. It pays off. And so they put the necessary counterweights on all the catapults and start using them. And so now then is told that they have broken into the city, and so he sends the boy Emperor into the tunnels to protect him, which is the only decent thing that he's done the entire season. The only decent thing he's done. Said or done, honestly. Said or done. So, yeah. Can't wait to see him die. Can't wait for him to die. Kublai isn't seen given acupuncture. I think that's what it is, where they put needles all throughout your body, on your skin. And that's when Mark comes in and says it's going to be a long night before they kind of make any headway. And then the next day, it's seen that they have done a lot of damage to the wall, but not sufficiently to where they can just ride into the wall that they tore down or hit. And so they continue using the catapult, and they eventually break through the wall on one particular section, and they charge at it basically. And then Sadao gives the order to use something, or for something to be done, and his men start using the little mini-kins that he used to kill the Empress a few episodes back, and they use it on the Mongols, and Jingham is hit, falls down, and then has a soldier who was killed fall down on top of him. And a Chinese soldier finds Jingham still alive when he pulls the dead soldier off of him, and Jingham's about to be killed when Bayamba kills the soldier first, and that's when Marco tells the Mongolian soldiers to surround Jingham, and then he and Bayamba run forward to continue battling and everything. And then when they reach the palace, they find that it's deserted, except for Sadao, or at least Marco finds that Sadao is the only one there in the royal court chambers thing. And Sadao says, "Oh look, it's a round eye, dude. Shut up. You're like shut up. Just shut up." And then Marco and Sadao fight each other, but Sadao manages to break Marco's left collarbone, and I think a lot of bones on Marco's left side, basically. And before Sadao could kill Marco, 100 Eyes comes in and they fight, and then eventually 100 Eyes kills him. And at this point, I was just like, whew, I went, Hercules. I was like, yeah. If anybody doesn't know what movie that's from, it's from I believe it's the first Nutty Professor movie. I haven't seen that movie in a long time, but I went like that so hard when Sadao was killed. I was like, yes! Finally, I was waiting for that to happen. I was like, nope, that needs to happen. And then Kublai comes in and asks what Emperor is after Sadao is killed, and no one responds. So he's like, "Go find him, please, do it." And then they do. They go find some people go find him, and then he sits on the throne. Marco is seen going up to Jingham as he's being wheeled to the healers, and speaks to him and pretty much compliments him on how he fought and how Genghis would be proud of him and everything. And then Jingham extends his arm so that Marco can then, shake it like they do and do there, and then calls Marco brother as they shake arms. And it seems like this is a final acceptance of Marco, especially when he calls Marco brother. So it seems like Jingham's finally come around and everything. And then you see Bayamba riding out to Kudalin and Kaidu afterwards alone. And that's that. I will see what happens with that later. Maybe something will happen with that. I don't know. Maybe I think maybe now because of that, Bayamba's gonna be banished from Kamalak. But who knows? We'll see. We'll see what happens with that. Then Marco is seen going to find Kokichin back in Kamalak itself, and her room is all cleared out, and she's clearly not there. And he's obviously kind of devastated about that. And then this last scene is what I really wanted to talk about, and why I wanted to make this video last night, but I didn't. It's Meilin killing the guard that brings her food after she kind of makes it look like she's about to seduce him. And she tries to escape, and she can't really get out just yet. But before she can find another way out, she sees the painting that Ahmed painted on his wall in his quarters, and basically it's basically of the battle that happened a few episodes back, before Marco was put in jail for treason or working with the enemy. And then it shows, the painting also shows Ahmed being painted sitting on the throne of Zhanyang with Kublai's head cut off. And as she's looking at these pictures, he comes up behind her quietly and asks if she likes it. And then after a few seconds, she's like, I find it exquisite. And basically, that's the end of the episode, and oh my god, I feel so happy that one of my predictions came true, basically. I may have changed it later on, but my original prediction for who hired the assassins to kill Kublai was that Ahmed was the one who hired them, and this basically proves it without actually having him state that he did it. This basically proves it, and I'm just like, I feel so happy that one of my predictions actually came true. So yeah, so I feel really happy about that. Because I kept saying, I knew it was him. I even wrote it on Facebook. I wrote on my Facebook page, and I was like, yes, I knew it was him. I knew it was him. I knew it. And I was like, I felt so happy. I did kind of like a victory dance, an awkward victory dance, and I was like, yes. I felt so fucking vindicated. Anyway, so yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead with watching the second season. I've heard some over the course of this whole season, this first season. I've heard some people talking about how they didn't really like season 2, but I'm gonna give it a shot. I may or may not like it. I don't know. I don't know what happens in season 2, obviously, since this is my first time watching it. So yeah, I don't know what goes on with it. I'm excited to get into season 2. I saw somewhere that there's this before season 2 even aired, and after season 1 had been put up on Netflix, that there's this little I'm not sure how long it is, but it's this little episode of how 100 Eyes came to Con Block and everything. So I hear that's what that happened. I'm not sure how long it is. Well, no, Wikipedia says that it's a 30-minute origin story. And so yeah, I'm gonna look at that and like watch that, and obviously I won't be making much prediction. Well, maybe I'll make predictions based off of how that goes. But depending on how that goes, I might or might not make predictions on it. But yeah, I'll watch that and then put it up. I'll watch that and put it up on Monday along with the episode 1 of season 2. And I will watch that and I'll watch both the origin story of 100 Eyes and episode 1 of season 2 up on Monday, so that I can just get into it, into season 2. And yeah, so that's what I would do. And with all that, I have done, I'm gonna get into a little bit of predictions. I think Lin, now knowing what Ahmed has painted and what he wants to happen with Kublai, I think she will obviously go into get into his confidences and help him with it, and therefore he will uh, therefore he will, treat her better than a prisoner, uh, and kind of like uh, I don't know, help her out with like her daughter and everything, and seeing her daughter against Chabi's wishes, especially since she knows about what he plans to do to Kublai. Uh, I don't know. I'm still hoping that she kind of runs away with her daughter, so that she could live in peace. Because I still feel like she's gotten short end of the stick. I'm still hoping for that to happen. But if not, then my prediction is that he will take her into his confidences, and she will help him out with killing Kublai. Then I don't know, maybe Kaidi's daughter will still end up pregnant by Marco, and it'll be found out that Marco is her baby's father. If not, she might try to pass her baby off as Bayelma's, but I don't know. I think she might try to pass it off as his if that's what happens, and but clearly, when the kid grows up, he will have Marco's Latin features and everything. So maybe that'll happen, maybe not. I don't. I'm thinking that might still happen. I'm thinking maybe if that doesn't happen, then fake Kokachin is gonna get pregnant by Marco, and it's gonna be revealed that he got her pregnant somehow. So I think that might happen. One of those two might happen. Either that or the sexual encounter is gonna be revealed or something. I don't know. Something like that might happen, I think. But yeah, that's all my predictions for now. With that said, like this video if you like it. Hit subscribe if you want to see more of my videos and get alerted to when I post videos. And I will see you next time. Bye.